Allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We are the mob. M to the O. B. Memphis OVER BULL. Live podcast. Every Wednesday, 6 p.m. As always. A little change of scenery. You know we do it how we do it every few months around here. Clean the place up a little bit. All right. Great show. And in today's chat mob, what it do? I'll let your boy make sure y'all can hear me. Everybody might clear my vocals good. We all good how we rocking. But today's show. Pretty simple. The cycle of life of the Memphian, right? And single parent household, right? And many of us were born in single parent households. The struggles that happen. It's like it starts you off on the wrong foot. For sure. John the Don, what's up? What's good, family? Alright, but yeah, it starts you off on the wrong foot. And I think I had a discussion with a friend of mine. And they watched the mob. They may be in here too as well. But he said he made an evaluation of families that when he goes out, he watches the different cultures of people and how the families, how many single women are pushing or having families like having kids, and how many single black women are being single. It's just something he keeps up because we are identified as melanated people. So we have to find the struggles and we have to look at these things within our own community. Nobody else pays attention to them. Who will, all right? All right, so, okay, let me graphic out. But yeah. Yeah, well, who will? Y'all ain't get that right. But, back to what I was saying. Hey, so I want to start this out by saying I love this video. I love when I share other people from other cultures. Get this camera right, y'all. From other cultures speaking of things that are relevant to us. So I want to start this out because this is a great clip to start out a lot of great discussion, right? Because it may rub some people the wrong way. It'll get a lot of things, a lot of questions brought about that we need answers to as to why we are constantly being a part of this vicious cycle that we'll touch on because it's all relevant to today's show.
I'm going to be aggressive because nobody wants to hear this, because what you want me to say today is actually being a single mother is totally possible. It actually isn't. It was never meant to happen for the human race, number one. Number two, single biggest determiner of whether a mother is a good mother, what do you think it is? This is going to blow your mind when I tell you the answer. Whether they have a supportive partner. The major argument for good dads is actually, can the dad be there for the mom?
Appreciate that shout to my boy J.A. Exclusive. You already know. Full trip around the sun starting tomorrow, bro. Appreciate that. But did everybody hear that? Because I could just pause the whole video. I got other clips. We got other things to discuss. But this clip is epic. It's epic, bro. Peep this. Peep what she says. I'm going to pause it throughout. If you don't like that, if you don't feel like discussing these things, might not be the show for you. Check this out, though.
This is going to blow your mind when I tell you the answer. Whether they have a supportive partner.
She said that makes you a good mother. The determining factor in you being a good mother is if you have a supportive partner. So if you bring a child into this world without a supportive partner, can't be a great mother. And that's a standard that should be set within our community. We will see a lot of these things happen. I know it's cold. I know y'all gonna say, what the hell are you talking about? Think about some of the problems that we have, right? Where they come from, where they stem from, right? It's gonna take a little unusual things, talking about things that make you a little uncomfortable.
The major argument for good dads is actually, can the dad be there for the mom? Because it's like a direct chain is what we see. What you see is that if you've got a father figure, basically, who's supportive to the mother's energy goes towards the children.
But y'all trying to make these things so complicated. And it's so simple, right? Now, I'm not telling you you can do whatever you want, date how you want to date, do whatever you want to do. But when you bring children into the equation, it changes everything. And you're just thinking about, well, I got a good paying job. I got this going on. Hey, man. You're trying to do things an untraditional way. And we see the results right now. I honestly think this is the biggest problem in our community right now, bro. The devaluing of family and structure. And raising people to be independent. That goes for men and women. I understand a man should be able to provide for himself, but the independent mentality, after a certain age, bro, we start to wonder why you're working so hard. I mean, everybody wants somebody to provide for, something to do. I mean, the main two things you can do is protect and provide as a man, because you need a family, you need a woman. It all adds balance. So don't think we're just talking about the women here, though. This is a major discussion. I love what she said.
But the second that she doesn't have that supportive energy, she collapses, is what happens. And then the kids get starved. And we are not actually supposed to be living in a single family household, so it's supposed to be a lot more support towards mom than just dad. But I'm going with standard societal structure. You are a victim of a society that was never meant to work this way. I'm going to be aggressive.
What more can I say? We need that Jay-Z. Cue that Jay-Z. Jay, give me that Jay-Z, man. What more can I say? All right. So, child born in a single-parent household places the child in poverty. The child lacks skills and education. And everybody's always thinking like, all right, when we say skills and education, another discussion we had was, what do you mean by education? And I mean, education could mean a lot of things besides your GPA, your high school GPA, right? Lack of skills and education. When I say lack of education for, maybe you don't even know the history of where you come from as a people. Like the things I talked about last week. That's a lack of education. When you don't know anything about Memphis and the grounds where we come from or where we live in, that's education. Skills and education, right? That's education for those who don't understand. So I wanted to know, is is that true? Do we agree? Now, I'm speaking to people that watch after the live airing, not just the chat mob. When you watch this, you see me out. Most people that watch the show come across me some kind of way. Is that true? Is being a good mother determined by having a sufficient and a stable partner? You bring a child to this world without one, can you be determined as being a good mother? Going into a situation thinking that I'm going to raise the child on my own, it limits the child and brings up the cycle. Puts the child in poverty, puts the child in the worst neighborhood, and we know what goes on, and so forth and so forth. Got another one. Another clip. It's going to be an ugly show. I don't know about, it's not all cute and everything, right? It's another video, though, full of facts. Full of facts. We're going to get to the Memphis clips, too, but we're going to get to talking about this because we're going to start things off on the right foot. Because this is the biggest part of the cycle. It has to start when you're first born. A lot of stuff we're dealing with now goes back to 20 years ago. And now we got a bunch of 20-year-olds who don't really understand what's really going on with life and why things are looking the way they look in Memphis. Peep this.
90% of single-parent homes are headed by women. 90%, right? 63% of youth suicides are from single-mother homes. 90% of homelessness and runaway children are from single-mother homes. 71% of high school dropouts are from single-mother homes. 70% of youths in operated institutions are from single-mother homes. 80% of all youths in prison are from single-mother homes. 85% of children who show behavioral disorders are from single-mother homes. 80% of rapists with anger problems are from where? Single-mother homes. So like Spell says, you're putting your child at every statistical disadvantage when you choose to just be a quote-unquote single mother. 90% of...
He says you put your child at every economical disadvantage when you choose this. It's all relevant, right? Now, I wanted to share that because that's the start of the cycle of his life in Memphis, right? Single parent household, place your child in poverty. Now, when we go to this, we understand what's going on with the Shelby County school system, right? And this might be, might go over some people's head, like I said. But are we concerned? We're thinking about the city, and we're thinking about the citizens. We gotta remember that us as adults, the school teachers that we used to have back in the day no longer exist. So most school teachers are probably relatively young. I would say they're under 40. Around in their 30s, 20s, and 30s, right? I would think. But so these are the same people that come from the city who lack leadership, lack a stable home. But so most people that teach here are from here. So it's a trickle-down effect. Now, this is going to piss more people off because the next video is about the school system, right? Because in the graphic, there is education. Within the graphic, lack of skills in education, right? So I want to share this. There's an autistic child.
New tonight, a Memphis mother who...
Yeah, we'll get back to it. The autistic child goes to school. Now, the mother took it upon herself to put a tape recorder in the child's backpack. And heard the teacher saying a few things about the students that I'm sure goes on very often in Memphis. I'm just see these are going to answer why, like some of the things you wonder that you see that going on. Why? Watch this.
New tonight, a Memphis mother who claims her autistic daughter has been verbally abused by teachers is seeking help. Hello, I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst, and that mom took action to make sure she had all the details. WRG's Bria Jones joins us now live with the latest on the investigation. Bria, fill us in.
Well, Greg, Steph, that little girl is a student here at Bruce Elementary. Now, her mother put a recording device in her backpack, and what she heard disturbed her. There's no limit to a mother's love, and Naomi...
This is why I say also, has she not taken upon herself to go the extra mile to make sure her child was being treated well, or even like if you got students, or if your child's a student, they got teachers, you better follow things up, bro. You just can't send your kids out to school and put them on a bus hoping that people are gonna do the right thing. People aren't doing the right things, y'all. They're thinking and that old like laid back approach to things is the reason why we have shit like this going on right now.
Miller is no exception.
I was just livid. I was like, this is just unbelievable.
This is Miller's middle child, 5-year-old Carmony Prophet. Her mother says she battles autism and is a nonverbal special needs student at Bruce Elementary. However, she hasn't been to school since September 8th.
She was just screaming not to go to school and then having a meltdown. Once she come home, it's like, all I know is something is off. And the only thing that changes is you're going to school.
Miller says last year, Carmony also had a bad experience at school. So this time she decided to take matters into her own hands after suspecting verbal abuse.
I basically purchased a recorder and I put it in her backpack the first week of September.
All right, so I would say do this for all kids, whether they're autistic, whatever they're dealing with, right or not. Put a recorder in there, bro. Have some kind of surveillance item for your kids that people don't know you have. It's 2023, bro. It's 2023. And then she has a speaking condition, so she couldn't really communicate to tell the parents of what was going on. So they knew this, man. It's crazy, bro.
What was the most shocking thing you heard on the recording?
The most shocking thing I heard on recorded is the teachers calling my baby the B word, and even
Calling a child. It's crazy, bro.
I heard on recorded is the teachers calling my baby the B word, and even more disturbing, y'all come and tranquilize her. She needs to be in a special home. Like, are you serious? All because she was crying.
WREG reviewed several recordings. Two women can be heard talking, saying, "We were having a good day until she came. It's this expletive right here." Adding, "I don't want to treat her mean, but God knows it is hard." We also heard expletives being used when referring to other children and yelling. Miller says she took these recordings.
So they were using the same language when discussing situation with other kids, right? So the other parents had no idea this was going on. So I'm man, bro, like how in the hell, man? This is happening, y'all. So when we go back and we find these kids 10 years from now, right, and they go through this repeatedly in schools, and they go through each teacher, each principal looking over things, acting this way, right? We get a city full of things that we're seeing right now today. And you wonder why.
To the school's principal and Memphis Shelby County Schools, but nothing came of her countless emails and meeting.
They should never be able to be teaching kids ever again. All three of them need to be gone, and the principal most definitely need to be held accountable.
In a statement, MSCS says in part, the investigation is still pending, and during the investigation, the employee has been removed from the classroom. Meanwhile, Miller is hoping things can be resolved so Carmony can safely return to school.
Don't count my baby out. Say I'm gonna be a future leader.
Now, MSCS says this investigation is ongoing. Of course, we'll let you know if there are any new developments. We're now reporting live in Midtown. Bria Jones, WREG News Channel 3.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I'm just going to be real about it. We know where we live. It's likely, highly likely, that those were black women. Those were black women. We got to be real about it. What does that say about our community when stories like that make headlines? You do it to your own. As if we don't have enough to go. Right. Man. Bro, you're not worried. It's like your kids are anywhere, like, besides, like, within arm's reach of you, you should be worried. You should be worried. I mean, schools, bro, like, damn. Okay. And then, like I said, those were mothers. I don't want to even say single mothers. Or as those people, those teachers are a result of single parent household. And poverty. And food droughts. And low income, low wages. See, man, lack of time, lack of skills. Everything leads to another, man. It's just unbelievable. Why aren't we? And then, like, to see the things that are going on, right? And the protests that are going on Beale Street. Well, it should be, for what's going on in Israel right now. We all, we see what's going on in the news. But this is a local injustice, to say the least, right? Why aren't more people at Bruce Elementary protesting it? And then the news didn't even reveal the identities of the teachers. Like I said, it's just enough on this show alone. Now, I want to touch on something else, right? The gangs, right? The game, it's all a system, bro. It's all a system. But heroes do exist. Heroes do exist. I'm just trying to wake us up on the things, and I'm not just here to talk about the negative things that we're going through, but we do have to talk about them though before we get to any solutions. Now, this brother here gave us solutions to a problem because young man was headed down the wrong route and then turn things around. So things are possible, but we got to keep talking. We got to have these kind of platforms because I didn't hear about this, and I'm sure you didn't hear about the teachers abusing the kids. I'm sure you didn't hear about it. You know, there's the NBA season coming back. I know y'all keeping up with I know you heard about Steven Adams being out, right? Let's be honest. I know you heard about Steven Adams not playing for the Grizzlies this year. Holla at me, chat mob. Y'all heard about Steven Adams, didn't you? But did you hear about the little girl being abused? The little autistic black girl, 5 years old, being called the B word. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, let's talk about the gangs. But they overcame this. People, this, bro. It's all the cycle. All the cycle, what I've been talking about since episode 1.
An honor roll student says he was pressured by friends into joining a gang. The initiation sent him to the hospital. And that's when a family friend stepped in. Tonight, WREG investigators continue our in-depth coverage of kids and crime.
Our chief investigator, Jessica Gertler, explains where the teen is now and the one thing he believes will change the city's course.
There's a story behind every picture. The story here will surprise you.
I was a quiet kid, just kind of always separated from the crowd.
Darren Wilson grew up in the Raleigh area.
Grew up in a...
Raleigh, stand up, Raleigh. Also, hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. And everybody that always watches the videos, is checking us out. Make sure you subscribe to the mob.
Single parent household. My mom, my dad were separated.
His home was full of love, but his neighborhood and school, Craigmont High, didn't feel as secure.
A lot of the students who came to school, you know, obviously either had broken homes or just kind of fell into the environment that they lived in. That unfortunately led to be a lot of gangs.
In the 10th grade, his friends began gravitating to those bad influences. The peer pressure grew stronger.
You know, what do they say? Birds of a feather kind of flock together.
Darren says deep down he knew this wasn't the path he wanted to be on, but he craved being a part of something. So it...
You heard it from the horse's mouth, right? He wanted to be a part of something. He wanted to be a part of something. Part of the cycle. He didn't have his father back.
14 years old, he decided to join the gang, hiding everything from his mother, sneaking out of the house on the day he was set to be initiated.
I left her a sticky note on the door saying that I'm going to play basketball.
He went to an undisclosed location.
There's a group of guys, you stand in the middle of a circle, and there's a certain amount of time that you just have to take a beating.
I want to talk about this too. I want to pause here, right? When I think about us as a culture and everything that we've gone through, right? And I don't even like to talk about the slavery because we overcame it. To me, if you ask me, black people came back and we, you know, we're still affected by it, but I've seen us overcome a lot of things post-slavery. Now, I don't know what happened in the late 70s and the 80s. There's a whole other that's broke the household. That's why we talk about single mothers and the broken home and poverty. All of these newer things, the food drafts, those are newer issues. But like I said, going back, I digress. Okay, the initiation process of gangs to beat somebody in. And just to think about what we go through as a culture and how that same mindset is used on us. We use the same mindset that used to hold us back, we use it on ourselves. You take the biggest black man in town and you beat him in front of everybody. It's like, we know what works because we knew what worked on us. But the fact that we don't know what happened, but this is my thing. Let me say it. I don't want to run over words too much. The fact that we know what to do, but we don't know why we're doing it. Am I making sense here? The fact that we know how to break your back to make you get in something, but we don't know why we're doing it, where we got these tactics from. That bothers me, that we can keep something for, how long they've been initiating people, beating folks in a circle, making them run through. Man, bro, I'm totally against gangs. I know people that watch this, they bang, they fool me. Hey, y'all know me, I keep it a stack. You can get rid of all that right now. That has done nothing. I'm amazed by that, though, that we do each other the same way that we've been done in this country for so long. We know those tactics, but since we don't know where they come from and why they were done to us, we use them as well.
And after that certain amount of time, you're a part of it.
His mother knew something was wrong. She kept calling, putting a pause to the brutal beating that still sent her only child to the hospital.
Just at that moment, I was like, nah, I don't want to do this to myself or my family.
His auntie called me and told me.
There's a hero. That's what I mean. Shout out to this brother right here. Peep this.
Told him that she got a problem, something is going on with her nephew.
Jimmy Chambers is a gang investigator in Shelby County and had started mentoring boys in similar situations to Theron's.
I said, bring him right now. Bring him on to me.
Chambers had a long talk with Theron and didn't hesitate to step in.
I went back out in the hood and found the little leaders, and I advised them that he's off limits. He's mine now, and if you want to continue bothering him, then you got to bother me.
That's what it's going to take. It takes that kind of sacrifice. He didn't have a father figure, but it took up men in his community to step up. Like I say, it takes a village to raise a child, like the lady said in the first clip, right? Because it's all two-parent household thing. When you used to have families living in the household, where you know it takes a village to raise a child. But now we got the mother working long hours, who's alone, the father working long hours to pay child support to the mother who's still struggling on her own. Man, that is a perfect setup of fuck shit. That is a perfect setup. If you're not conscious of it, you fall right in line with it.
And he told Theron to be ready to work bright and early.
It was like 100 degrees outside. We had on long sleeve shirts, and it's like 7 in the morning.
Chambers had him doing yard work, churches, abandoned lots. The goal was to keep his mind busy.
If we change this bad boy right here, we got him.
Chambers continued to offer advice, guidance, and unconditional love.
August comes around, 11th grade, I'm back on track. Got back in my AP courses, getting my heads back in the book.
Back on the right path. Theron graduated from high school in 2015 and went to the University of Tennessee.
That boy graduated.
Where he earned his bachelor's degree in biochemistry.
I just grinned from ear to ear because that was one of my successes.
Chambers didn't think his smile could get bigger. But then...
And 2 years after that, I joined the Ohio State College of Optometry.
Theron continues to thrive, but remains humble.
There's a very big chance that I would have fell into that street life. And I think nowadays, a lot of the crime that's being done is because there's a lack of guidance.
His friends from the 10th grade are still in the gang, in jail. Some are dead.
Look at, did you hear that? His friends from the 10th grade. Damn. I got some friends from the 10th grade. They're still in shit right now. That's crazy. That lets you understand that where it starts, right? It starts early, but once it starts, once the cycle begins and you get caught in it, in Memphis, once you get in that cycle, in that loop, you'll never get out. You'll never get out. That lets you know it's not just random. These things aren't random.
It's easy to mold a teenager into a certain mindset because they're still developing, they're still trying to learn themselves.
That's why he believes mentoring is vital to ending the juvenile crime problem.
They sincerely just need guidance because There's always a reason why a child does what a child does.
He hopes his testimony encourages others to look at the bigger picture and rewrite Memphis's story. Jessica Gertler, WRE.
So it was made possible, right? Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you prevent that from happening? How do you break the cycle? You have to break the cycle by what that brother just did. I told you, who's a hero, right? Took it upon himself, go to the neighborhood and save the young brother like that. But like I said, it's certain things. We start by these platforms. Speaking of these platforms like this, about these issues. I'm going to keep pushing, man. As long as the mob is growing like that one, he just saved one kid that we know of in that video, but he'll go on and save so many other lives and so forth and so forth. But yeah, man, I hate to bring I'm not gonna even just say single mother. I just say single parent household. That's how they put it, single. Even though I don't know many households with the father being the single parent. But yeah, lack of skills in education, limited options for work and income. Ultimately, don't escape the cycle. Same things happen with your kids. Child placed in poverty, lack of skills in education, limited options for work and income. Doesn't escape the cycle. And you do this for 5 generations worth of people, right? So how long does it take to reverse that? We got a lot of work to do. Paul Young just got in. He addressed this. We get an update from everybody from our favorite new mayor in America, Paul Young of Memphis. Let's hear about it.
Moving Memphis forward. We're less than 3 months away from Memphis's mayor-elect Paul Young taking office. And tonight he tells us he's getting to work right now. He's starting to tackle some of the city's biggest problems.
Fox 13's government reporter Kayla Solomon is joining us live in our studio tonight. Kayla, you actually got a chance to talk with our new mayor-elect and talk to him about several topics, in fact. What do you have to say?
Yeah, Darcy, this is the first time we've heard from him since he was elected just last week. Now, we spoke about crime, development, and creating opportunities for our young people. These are just some of the things Mayor-elect Paul Young says he's starting to take a look at as he transitions from the Downtown Memphis Commission across the trolley tracks to City Hall.
Well, downtown is the heart of our community. It's the living room for our whole region. And so leadership in downtown shows that I can lead on a broader scale.
It's been a week since Paul Young won the election in the Memphis mayoral race.
We worked really, really hard for a year and a month, 13 months, to demonstrate that I was the right person at the right time for our city. We wanted to lead with optimism and hope, with also acknowledging our challenges.
The biggest challenge? Crime. Young says his plan is to work in collaboration with police.
Paul Young said something on here that was very important, though. He lets us know who's in control of things. In a positive. If I can get the clip to play back. Really?
Police Chief C.J. Davis, Sheriff Floyd Bonner, and all other public safety entities to create a more aggressive enforcement plan.
We want to reduce the indications of chaos. We want to see more done to stop some of these car break-ins and things that we're seeing. We also want to work to figure out where can we be more efficient with the time of the officers that we have so that they're spending more time on the street and less processing paperwork.
But Young says part of the way to tackle the crime, giving our young people things to do.
I firmly believe that our young people just need more opportunities to be engaged. They're looking for things to do, activating our community centers, our parks, supporting our nonprofits that are already doing the work so that they can scale up and provide services to more young people. We have churches on every corner.
That's what I mean.
What programs can they provide?
And an annual event that proved to be a safe place for kids and families was the Beale Street Music Festival, which will no longer be happening in 2024. But on Friday, a new music festival was announced at Tom Lee Park for the first weekend in May.
We should celebrate that, but we also should be thinking about how do we move forward in years moving into the future? How do we think about festivals in downtown Memphis in more creative ways? Maybe festivals that aren't necessarily stationed in one place, but take place all throughout downtown or all throughout the city.
Young will officially take office on January 1st, 2024, along with...
So yeah, he said the main thing would be the community and the nonprofit organizations and churches, right? I never really heard Strickland talking about those type of organizations. I'm just rooting for you, Paul. You got 2 months, man, before you start up, bro. Go and get all your plans together. Come holler at us at the mob. All right, one more story before we get out of here. We're not going to hold you all too long tonight. We always go over. Truancy rates. See, this is part of the cycle, too. This is what I'm saying about... See, the reason why I shared this about the truancy rates is what we said in the first video. What the man really allows a woman to do inside the household. Right? Allows a woman to be in another role. But when we have our people working longer hours away from the kids, because they got to work longer hours to provide for their families, right? Provide for themselves ultimately. Like I said, if you make minimum wage, which many people do in Memphis, believe it or not, you got to work 72 hours to pay for a 1-bedroom. That's my quote every week. I say that. I can't say it enough. Because we always ask, what the hell is going on? Why are we going through these things that we're going through? And pretty much lets us know. So when you see kids that are out and the truancy officers are out, most of the parents are at work. But you think, when we talk about it, we just think, automatically assume that we're talking about bad parents. Right? Parents that don't care about their kids. There's something in this video that most crimes happen from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So if you're a teenager, you got parents, they're going to let you out up to 9 p.m., right? 8 p.m., you got to be home, right? It doesn't really get dark in Memphis till like 8. So they may be some of the good, quote-unquote, good kids committing some of the crimes, bro. You just got to realize that. And it may be good parents who are working long hours, bro. You can't be around the kids all day long. There's a lot of things. So I'm saying my biggest fix would be 2 parents are better than 1. 2 brains are better than 1, bro. So I would try to push that in our community. Because right now it's just the link-up era right now.
WREG investigators are taking a closer look at kids and crime. And tonight we find out about the thousands of children in Memphis not going to school.
Yeah, you heard that? Thousands. Yeah. WREG Chief Investigator Jessica Gertler speaks to one city council member and finds out why he believes it's part of the city's juvenile crime problem.
He's concerned because the number of children missing school is alarming. We asked Memphis Shelby County Schools for its truancy rate back in April. It took months to finally get it. 105,000 children attend Memphis Shelby County schools. And according to district data WREG investigators uncovered, 45% of them were truant last school year, meaning they had 5 or more unexcused absences. The district also reported 1 out of 4 children are chronically absent. They've missed 10% of school. No one with the district agreed to an interview, but did state reasons for missing school can vary. It could be health, bullying, poor academic performance, poverty, or homelessness. When it comes to truancy, their specialists will work with students and their families, offering an array of programs, tools, and partnerships to encourage and emphasize attendance, something they reiterated to the Memphis City Council earlier this year.
Man, did you see all of the effects of this? The other reason behind kids being truant, right? Poverty, bullying, all of the things that we talked about in this show. It's simple, man. It's a simple fix.
When they were called to address truancy concerns.
I think if you go back and watch the committee meeting, I was not very satisfied.
Councilman Chase Carlisle says he didn't get real answers, like when children clock in and then skip class.
You've got children that are just no longer showing up to school. There's no accountability. They can't find them. It's hard to contact a parent or a guardian, which goes to some larger potential issues.
He says there has to be more collaboration to ensure the right systems are in place.
I think oftentimes these large entities play in a sandbox because each is worried about their own political reputation or what they're seeing, or, hey, you know, we're trying to cover our own rear end.
Carlisle and other city leaders, including the mayor, believe truancy plays a role in the juvenile crime problem.
What's your response to that?
So, so we should think about like the language we use.
Shelby County Juvenile Court Deputy CAO Stephanie Hill.
And of course, there is great national data about correlation, and obviously if you are at a certain age and you are not in school, the likelihood that you will end up in a thriving work environment becomes less likely.
But she also points to their data. Juvenile court says 68% of juvenile crime happens after school. 75% typically happens between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. Juvenile court says their focus is understanding the barriers keeping kids from attending school. They held a truancy clinic with MSCS in August for parents to help problem solve, offering services and resources. And they plan to hold more clinics in the future.
Juvenile court says they've handled just over 900 cases last year for truancy and educational neglect. To take a closer look at those numbers and read more about the supports the school district is offering, head to our website and click on this story. Jessica Gertler, WREG News Channel 3.
So why you think truancy is up? Like I said, lack of stability in the home, man. There's a lot of things that we are starting to accept, or have started to accept, that hurt us in the long run, bro. I'm just here to recognize, wake us up on it. This is something that we should continue to talk about, bro. But yeah, it goes back to that teacher. We lack a community, like right now. There should be an outcry for that little girl, starting with that. And that would send a message to the other teachers in Shelby County who are doing the same thing. Trust me, that's happening often. And the same thing that we see going on with the gangs and the kids, and like the brother that did, we need more of that. I mean, this whole entire video, this whole entire show was really had solutions within the problem. They really right in our face, but we got to recognize them and address it. And like I said on 901 said, we must create the village. And that village is the mob. Memphis OVER BULL every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Solutions, discussions. That's what we're all about, man. But yeah, I am the custodian. And look for us, man. We're gonna be doing some different. Like I said, I always give us a preview. We changed the look this week. You may see us in some places you didn't expect to see us next week. I'll keep my thoughts to myself. You never know how things go. But until then, hit the like button, subscribe to the mob if you haven't already. And we'll keep you updated. Until then, it's the Memphis OVER BULL Live Podcast. We out.